Well, good evening and welcome to the Handon Online Footy Show. That's right, we are back and we are super excited because, to be honest, I did not know when footy and netball was going to return, but what an exciting bit of news that's been released today by the Handon Football Netball League. They met with all the league presidents last night via Zoom. They thrashed out the remainder of the season, and it is so exciting, Hilly, because it has been such a tumultuous year, but you know, we're pushing forward, and that's what we've got to do.
Yeah, I was thinking about it last night, Matt. Obviously, if we get the next 4 rounds in, which we hope we do, and no more things happening with COVID around this area in Victoria, we'll only miss 4 games, which is not a bad effort considering the year that we've had. But nervous times when the Premier came out and said, listen, the restrictions are going to be lifted, what the restrictions are going to be, and to see that community sport was, lifted this weekend was certainly great news, and I was glad that the news that came out today with the Handon League saying that we're going to see footy over the next couple of weeks, despite no spectators, which is disappointing, but it is what it is, and I think it's just good we're getting footballers and netballers back out in the court and on the ground.
Yeah, I agree. It's the mental health, it's the well-being, it's just, people getting back into a little bit of a routine and, being around people again. I think that's the key. And unfortunately, we've banged on about it a lot. We've got to live with it. We've got to be adaptable. And, it's going to be around for a few more years, I reckon, the way we're going, even when we do get vaccinated, Hilly. It's certainly going to be something that we're going to have to deal with. There's going to be different variants and all that kind of stuff. And look, and I love what the leagues have been able to do. They've been able to change and adapt, and the clubs have been willing to do it as well, which I think is so important. And I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. There'd be some clubs that are probably thinking, you know what, gee whiz, our year's probably finished. It's been a hard slog. You can put the queue in the rack, but to get the response like this and to see footy and netball back this weekend with no spectators for the next 2 weeks, it looks like, I reckon it's just brilliant. So
it is great. It is great news, mate. And I guess too, we probably talk more about the senior footy than anything, but it's a real holistic approach with the club. So despite say, a Portland Tigers, they might not be, say that, for an example, they're obviously in the finals at the moment, but they're not likely to play finals. Their netballers may be there. So it's still, we probably talk a lot about the senior football, but it's that holistic, the under-18s, the reserves, and all your netball grades too. So I think, to get everyone back out there, it's just super news.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And the president of the Handon Football Netball League, who I reckon, he's lost a few more bits of hair. He might have got a bit grey with what hair he has got. Has been kind enough to join us again. And Gaz, we must say thanks because you've always made yourself available whenever we've wanted to have a yak, especially on this show, each and every week. It's been a hectic old couple of weeks once again, mate, but gee whiz, just a fantastic result last night. And tell us about the meeting and who was obviously involved and how long you had the discussion for.
Yeah, hello guys. Yes, it was a good result. We had first we had our board meeting at 6 o'clock to decide our way forward. And first off, we decided about the juniors to get that out of the way and get that up and running, because the juniors are allowed to have their parents there as well. So that was great for them. And then we went into the seniors, and the following week, it was the presidents were saying that they didn't want to play without crowds. So we thought, oh well, we better see what we can do. So we just virtually left it up to the presidents.
Gaz,
so then we had the president. Yep.
I was just going to say, sorry to interrupt, was it unanimous amongst the presidents, or was there a fair bit of robust discussion in regards to, what the next fortnight looked like?
There certainly wasn't robust. No, it was. We had every president on the link. The first couple of presidents were a bit hesitant, just sort of sussing out the other presidents. But once it sort of all got going, and the presidents said their views and that sort of thing, the others sort of came on board, and they were all just really happy to get the teams out there and on the park.
I think too, Gaz, it's a credit to you guys, credit to the league, and a credit to all the clubs that kind of pushed through the first lockdown 4.0, because it kind of left the league in a lot better position, I suppose, than a lot of the other leagues. And, the leagues that come to mind is obviously the GFL and that. And I know that they probably had to they were forced and they had to pull the trigger this time because they couldn't afford to lose any more, So you know, you got some points there, I reckon, in the bank. It was a ballsy decision at the time, but I reckon full credit to you guys.
Yeah, it was good. It was a hard decision, and we thought of the clubs that they weren't going to make the money on the day, but we just had to get them out there because there's just so much involved with community sport. There's so many volunteers, the whole lot. It's a huge, big shooting match. So for everyone's benefit, we just need them out there on the park. Participation is what the secret is.
Spot on.
Hey, Gaz, I want to ask you, so just say if last night's decision didn't go in the way of us playing for the next 2 weeks, because obviously that's what the current restriction period is like, what would the season potentially look like post Saturday week if the president's decided, yep, we're not going to play, it's just financially and so forth for other reasons? What was it sort of going to look like, do you think?
Yeah, well, I didn't really think of it that way, Hilly, but I don't think it would have been all that fantastic because the teams that were out of the 5, they're going to miss another 2 weeks, and then they've got 2 weeks. A lot of the players would have said, "Why am I going to bother? Why do I want to go to training in the wet and cold weather each Tuesday and Thursday night if I know I'm not going to get anywhere or do anything?" It's just it would have been pretty sad. I think would have been in pretty poor position.
So as it stands at the moment, we pick up this weekend from round 11. Then we play round 12, round 13, round 14, which I think is just a brilliant result if we can get those games in. I know from an online perspective, we got some crackers. We got South v North this weekend. We head over to the Gardens Oval, Port Fairy v Terran Mortlake the week after. Then we've got South v Koroyd at the Friendlies, and then the week after that's Koroyd v North Warrnambool. So that's it's tantalising, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think if we can get through the next 4 weeks and then into that final series, geez, I reckon there's going to be some good momentum, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that'll be fantastic, and we can't wait. And another thing I should add too is some of the presidents have already indicated that their players would be playing for nothing. So not all, that's up to the individual clubs, but some of them have said that the players will play without any payments. So that's good.
Hey, Gaz, I know that we're just focusing on this 2 weeks and that's it, but I guess, at the end of the 2 weeks of this current restriction, the restrictions that they are at the moment, what happens if Premier Andrews comes out and says, listen, we're still not having crowds for the following 2 weeks? What happens there? Because I know that you don't want too many clubs, if they've got a certain amount of home games, they're missing out more than the other clubs, if you know what I mean, with missing out on that financial side of it. So what would that sort of look like if that's the case?
Yes. When we get through these first 2 weeks, and then we're going to have a look at the draw and to make sure that each club doesn't play more than 2 home games without any crowd. So we're going to try and even it out. We may swap them around a bit, So, but they'll still play each other the same, but we might swap venues, sort of thing. We're just going to look at all that. But hopefully, surely, we can have some crowds back in after a fortnight.
Yeah, fingers crossed. They're doing a great job, that is for sure. You'd hate to be part of it. And I can guarantee you, mate, I spoke to Hito and Fitz Media. We locked it in. So the junior grand finals on Sunday, the 22nd of August. They are locked and loaded, so we're going to live stream them on that day, the under-14, under-16, and also the netball finals as well. So that's going to be something for the kids to look forward to as well. Looking forward to the final series. I think it's going to be absolutely magnificent. And, we've got big Matty Hill, not Trent Hill, Matty Hill from racing.com, of course, calls the football. He's calling the rowing at the Olympics at the moment. And he's going to spend a little bit of time with us as well on one of those Sunday finals as well. Yeah, sorry, Gaz. We might have to bid you farewell. I can hear the rain absolutely teeming down above us here in the studio, and I reckon that might be causing a bit of grief. But we really appreciate your time. You're doing a wonderful job at the executive and as president, mate, and you should be commended. Well done. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think we might have lost Gaz there, but they are doing a magnificent job, that is for sure. It's just great to see it back. Our Hammond League live match of the day, Hilly, this week, and I'm looking forward to this contest. Yeah. It is going to be magnificent. Up at the Friendly Societies Park, it is South Warrnambool taking on the North Warrnambool Eagles. And, we've got both coaches, as we say, very good evening to Adam Dowie and also Matty Battistello. How you going, Wigsy? We'll start with you first, mate.
Yeah, good, Stewie. G'day, Hilly. Yeah, obviously back to school and back to training this week. So, um, yeah, anyway, it's the new normal. So we just roll with the punches.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? And I think, we've all just become such adaptable as a society, haven't we? We've kind of, I think we all just roll with the punches now. It doesn't seem to worry us as much. We just kind of, we have to get on with things because a lot of these things, Wigs, are out of our control.
Yeah, look, they are. It was fun. I was talking to me school kids today and I sort of said, you're the year 12s are worried about your ATAR, but sometimes it's, actually worry about the little things or the important things. So connection with friends and connections with teachers and things like that. And I said, I'm sure batters is the same. You want to win, but every coach does and every player does. But sometimes, again, in times like these, you go, well, do you know what? Yeah, everyone wants to win, but it's actually getting out and connecting with players and connecting with opposition and actually playing the game. Sometimes you take it for granted. So,
Spot on.
there's good to come out of tough times, and that might be just appreciate the little things.
Yeah, I reckon you've hit the nail on the head, Wigsy, absolutely. Hey, mate, from a coaching point of view, how hard's lockdown? What do you sort of put in place to ensure the boys, are ticking over what they need to do in, the little time that they have out to do fitness and so forth like that? So from a footy point of view, what do you sort of put in place?
Yeah, look, mate, we haven't been too prescriptive, and I imagine batters would be the same. So, look, if we were sitting on the bottom of the ladder, it might be a little bit more, maybe a bit of a worry. But the fact that we're sitting second, and the guys are. I'm a little bit sort of leaving their own devices. I do have our leadership group been checking in on terms of what they've been doing, but they've all been pretty good. So yeah, again, like I said, I'm not too prescriptive, but there again, I sort of go, well, if we're going to be a good side and a good club, the motivation has to be intrinsic. So, like I said, they're all pretty good, and they know. They'd let me down, but more important, they'd let their teammates down if they were taking shortcuts. So again, I'm hopefully, and I'm pretty sure, they've been doing what they need to do. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be what it is.
Cracking little clash this weekend, coming up against a very good football team in the South Warrnambool Roosters, mate. They've got just such a powerful midfield. It's kind of a tale of a couple of different, you've got plenty of size across the ground. It's going to be a great game of footy, isn't it, Wiggs?
Oh, look, absolutely, mate. Like South have been building obviously for a couple of years, and they've got plenty of depth. They've got a great blend of experience now. Some of the players they've put in there, but probably the key for them is that again their depth and all their young players coming through. So they're obviously well drilled. They're predictable to each other, and look, I think right across the board there, and that's why they're becoming a really strong Hampton League side with probably a really good future. So. Your contested footy, your uncontested footy, your offense, your defense gets tested in a way. That's sort of what you want. You want to be tested. You want to know where you're at. And yeah, look, obviously it's going to be a big challenge. And on the top of that, no crowds and things like that. So, but yeah, look, again, we're looking forward to it.
Hey, Wiggs, I want to ask you about Dylan Parrish, mate. He's had a horrendous year with injuries. Absolutely unbelievable in the game against Cobden there in our last game of the day where he kicked 7 until 3 quarters. How did he pull up? And you must have been relieved to see him get a bit of continuity in his game and, he's ready to go for this week again.
Yeah, look, mate, he's sort of funny. I've actually haven't seen him play a lot other than when I was coaching against him. And like for someone who, again, hasn't played a lot of footy in the last few years, his ability just to be able to read where the ball's going is pretty incredible.
He's good
player, for me, he's probably the closest thing to Ben Goodall I reckon I've seen. Obviously, they play different spots, but Goodall used to be able to just haven't played for a year and bang, just come in and just would just dominate games instantly. And Dylan again, he plays the other up forward, whereas Benny used to sort of play wherever, but both similar. Again, they're just very, very good readers of the ball. and again, the fact that he can do it just after such a long layoff was terrific. So, yeah, look, we're just hoping every game he gets through, he's going to be getting stronger and stronger, hopefully. Again, fingers crossed. But if he can play every game for us between now and the end of the season, he makes our side a lot better.
Oh yeah, he's good in the air too. He's good on the ground, and he just makes things happen. He's a very good footballer. What about Bailey Jenkinson, mate? A little bit of a shoulder concern, and the other one I wanted to ask about was Tommy Batten. Will they both be right this weekend?
Yeah, Jenko's definitely right. He played against Cobden and got through, no worries. So he's fine. Tommy Batten probably unlikely. He'll probably look at. I don't even know if he'll play next week. So so it's Tommy knows what he needs to do. Obviously, the clock's ticking a little bit, but yeah, again, I don't think so this week for Tommy.
Hey, Wiggsy, before we let you go, mate, we really love having you on tonight's program. You've extended for another year, so you must be enjoying your time out at North Warrnambool, and you still love the coaching side of things.
Yeah, look, mate. Number one, I really enjoy the club. Terrific, like probably every footy club, terrific people. So, but look, probably the other thing I think for me, and I probably spoke about in the paper a little bit. Sometimes you can just. Excuse me. You can get almost too passionate about things. And I think when I was younger, as a coach, really competitive. Wanted to make sure I was watching more videos than everyone and out preparing everyone. And now it's and again, my son Noah's been pretty good. He's just saying, Dad, just relax and enjoy it. And I think doing that, and again, just trying to take the ups and the downs a bit. I think I'm handling them better. It has really helped, and even in a way, COVID, because again, you go, well, winning and losing isn't everything. Again, everyone wants to win, but you actually go, well, just the fact that the player, just get there and enjoy being with the players and being with your coaches, and I think for me that's been good. So it's probably helping, just a different outlook on things, and hopefully, prolong the coaching career for a little bit longer.
You mentioned little Noah, mate. He's got the cool head on the pizza bar. 2 out of 10 in country. He doesn't nothing phases a young fella, that is for sure. He's
been under the pump there a few times, mate, but he's actually really enjoyed it out there.
Yeah, he's a good little kid. I have to ask you before we go, before we let you go, Wiggs, what about the Bull Ants, mate? Of course, Warrnambool College, myself and Hilly, we were both Bull Ants back in our day, big fella. How are they tracking, mate?
Yeah, look, mate. Obviously, with lockdown and COVID and things like that, we did have senior football earlier in the year. We've obviously had the junior intermediate football competition as well. So, but look, we have like Spinny and I on a Thursday afternoon and Tuesday afternoon, we'll have 90 kids up on the oval.
That's unreal.
And if we do drills and stuff, not many kids turn up. We play a scratch match, like 45 on 45. We get the kids there. And Brendan McCartney, he came down and he said, "What is this?" And we said, "Well, this, you talk about, mate, you got to be really good to get a kick in 45 versus 45. Like, there's no space to move." So I said, "Mate, you want to take this back to AFL ranks, I reckon." But no, look, the kids up there, the kids love it. They love their footy, and look, Finny and I, we usually take it for a trip to Melbourne, but that won't be happening this year, and it obviously didn't happen last year. But again, like everyone, they roll off the punches. So yeah, the Bull Ants are going well, mate. They're up and about.
I gotta love the Bull Ants. Good on you, Wiggs. Good luck this weekend, mate. Looking forward to seeing you at the football.
All right, thanks, fellas.
Yeah, great stuff. Adam Dowie there, the coach of the North Warrnambool Eagles. Good man. And we're going to go to another wonderful coach in the Handon Football Netball League, doing a great job up at the South Warrnambool Roosters in Matty Battistello, who's been kind enough to join us. Batters, how are you, big fella?
Going well, thanks, lads. How's things?
Mate, fantastic. And back in the library too tonight. I like that little library scene there behind you, big fella. We want to know if you've gone through any of those books since we last had you on at the start of the season.
We've got to put the head down and earn $1 somehow, mate.
I love it. I love it. Hey, Batters, you must be really looking forward to the next few weeks. I kind of mentioned it before. We've got some cracking games of footy. You've got the North Warrnambool Eagles this week. You've got Koroit in a couple of weeks. And then we're going to head into a final series. You must be super excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'd be just first and foremost good to have footy back and some normality back to the weekend. And then, obviously having North this week, we felt like we had a good bit of momentum before the last lockdown had hit us. So it'll be a good test for our young boys against some seasoned bodies out there at North. And as I said, it'd be just great for local footy to be back and up and running again.
Hey, Batters, is this a really good run home for you guys? Like, is this the sort of run in that you'd love heading into finals? Obviously, take you on the best teams and, then hitting the finals pretty hard?
Oh, I think, Hilly, if one thing this year and last year's taught me is not to plan too far ahead. As I said, we sort of felt like that we were managing our group reasonably well in terms of some of the older bodies and that, and then all of a sudden we had 2 weeks off. So as far as we know from the league, we know that we're playing North and Camperdown this week. We really don't know who we're playing post that point. So, we'll just keep adapting on the move and, looking forward to playing Camperdown and North as we did earlier in the season, and then we'll just see what happens post that point.
Mate, you've got a wonderful midfield. Yule, Saunders, those blokes that just plenty of players that can kind of rotate through there. And then you've got the young kids that obviously you'll get back towards the end of the back half of the season at some point in time. You must be wrapped with that. What about ruck? Which way have you gone there? And where do you think? What's your best model? Because the last game we called against Portland, you used kind of Bex and Sammy Kelly through that ruck role. What do you think's the best heading into a final series?
Yeah, I think the one thing we've got is a bit of versatility in regards to that now. We've obviously got young Ollie Bridgewater and Tim Ryan that's come into the side as well. So I don't think it's a cookie-cutter approach on that one, Matty. We'll sort of look and see who we're coming up against. North seems to be sort of going extremely tall at the moment. So which way we go, we're not sure. Obviously, Shannon's not going to be a permanent fixture in there, but he's shown an ability to get in and apply some craft and put another variety to his game as well. He's been outstanding in regards to that. And Ollie Bridgewater's about 8 games into a ruck career that started off at, as a centre half back. So he's only young, learning his craft as well. So it'll all come down to who we're playing on a particular day, but we're trying to build as much versatility into our side as we possibly can.
Hey, Batters, how's the lineup looking? Obviously, this year's been one where we've seen probably 3 or 4 changes most weeks due to whether it's rebels or injuries or whatever it may be. Are you getting closer to that sort of, what your ideal 22 or 21 looks like?
Hilly, probably not, given the Rebels came in against the Warrnambool side and were, the 4 of those kids, we rate them extremely highly. So we're always dictated by when they're available to play and not play. The one thing that's probably taught our group is we're reasonably versatile and can adapt to change. It's been the whole way along. I don't think we've had any less than 5 or 6 changes every single week. So we'll just keep rolling with that. And as I said, you hope to get some continuity towards the end of the year. But obviously with our Rebel kids and those sorts of things, we really don't know where that's at either. So we'll just keep adapting and hope that we get everyone available at the right time.
It's interesting you say, like those 4 kids, you're talking about Archie, George Stevens, Maris and Herbert. Like they are quality, aren't they? It's a great position to be in. It's obviously a tough decision at times, when they're all available. You got to kind of somehow make way for them. But gee whiz, when you got talent like those 4 kids, you just got to play them, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 years ago in our first final, I think 1/3 of our side could still play under 18. So as a club, we've invested pretty heavily in those kids, but they're the right character because they're around the club all the time. They're passionate. They love to get back involved when they're here. and our group certainly embrace them when they get back. So in terms of actually rotating them through, it's quite easy to do.
Mate, what about a young kid who was fantastic against Portland the last time we saw you, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again this weekend. Little Will White, he's been a fantastic little acquisition up forward. He's just opportunistic, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got some tricks, young Will, and he's lively and he's energetic, and you'd certainly pay you $12 to get through the gate and watch him. He's exciting, and he sort of he brings something different to our playing group, and footy doesn't know your age, and we're not scared to play him. So we threw him in there, and he's earned his stripes every single week to his credit.
Hey, Batters, just one last one from me. North Warrnambool, you've played them once before. Where's their key strength? Where do you really got to knuckle down to nullify them this weekend?
They got us around the midfield last time. Our backs were really good. We're probably lucky enough that Vickery played that one particular game that we played them last time. So in terms of Parish probably coming in there, they'll have it. It's a slightly different look, but we'll have some different changes as well. So I think most of their lines are extremely strong. And it will probably just come down to, I'm not sure Dowie will worry too much about this. We're more about getting on the park, getting through. We've asked the league for an extra interchange for some injury prevention type stuff. So we'll see where that one falls. But either which way, Hilly, the game goes, will be just great to get back on the park, get some footy back, hopefully have a win. If we don't, we'll move on and look forward to the following week.
Yeah, good stuff. Great attitude. And I think that's the motto, isn't it? Just good to be back out there. Wiggsy said exactly the same thing. I think it's fantastic. I must admit, I didn't think we'd get back this weekend. I thought we might have been another week away. And, just to commit and to say, yep, we're going to do it with our crowds for the next couple of weeks, I think is absolutely brilliant by everyone. Batters, good stuff. Looking forward to this weekend, mate. Just having it back, and the weather doesn't look overly flash, to be honest. It'll be probably pretty cold up at the friendlies, but we are going to be there. We're going to be live streaming, mate, and looking forward to seeing a couple of really good teams go head to head.
Yeah, appreciate that, boys, and we'll catch up with you on Saturday.
Good stuff, big fella. Matty Battistello there, the coach of the South Warrnambool Roosters. And honestly, Hilly, it's going to be a ripper. And, we don't really know what's going to happen with the draw, but gee whiz, the next 4 rounds, the games that we kind of had penned out, it's going to be a great finish and then a great final series.
I was sort of looking at the last 4 rounds. If it pans out the way it sort of suggested, a few weeks ago when they did the last 4 rounds, these sides like North, South, Koroit, they're going to be up against, some good opposition heading into finals. And that was sort of where my question was directed at Batters. Just probably is that the better lead up going into a finals campaign, playing against these sides and, having a good look at them closer to finals, then you meet them again, you can sort of rectify things, if you need to, a second time around in a short time span.
Yeah, my oath. And, we must also mention tonight that we are going to be doing the $5,000 kick, all thanks to Matty Burgess, Paul Goff and the team out at Warrnambool Toyota. It is back on, which is going to be fantastic. Always a great hit on grand final day as well. So looking forward to having that $5,000 kick back here.
I love it. I reckon it might have been a few years ago when the great pill, Brad Otten's come down and nailed it. I reckon you were on the ground actually doing the emceeing work, Stewie, and the big fellas just nailed it. And everyone got around big Brad Ottens. That was certainly a highlight.
Yeah, great stuff. And, of course, we kick into the back of that magnificent, unbreakable Toyota Hilux. So we must thank Matty Burgess. Paul Goff, they do a wonderful job, being a great supporter of the Hamden Football Netball League for a period of time as well. We must also, before we go tonight, it is a Southwest Tool of the Week. And to be honest, this is it. This is the winner for the year. We're still going to keep doing it, but it doesn't get any better than this. Ash Couch, of course, involved with the Cobden Football Club. We love him on Hamden League Live, of course. He works down at 3CS in Colac, and he's got the company vehicle all badged up. And, you can see the video footage here at the Camperdown Roadhouse, Hilly. He goes in to pay for the fuel. And poor old Couch in another world. He must have just left the car in drive.
Well, he might have been looking in the window. He doesn't mind a bit of bit of window work. Big Couch. He likes his own appearance. I reckon a few of the boys down there would certainly agree. But
just
Couch,
checking his
what
tan,
were you thinking,
making sure his fake tan was not running, because I think it was raining that day, Couchy. So you are our Southwest Tools Tool of the Week, big fella. $50 voucher coming your way, and we'll whack that up on our socials as well for people to have a look at. And we must thank Paddy Lane and the crew out there at Southwest Tools for all your tool needs. Make sure you get out there. It's a magnificent setup and a fantastic store, that is for sure. And we must thank our other sponsors, of course, Matco Hire, Tractor Smith and the crew, Pete Harris from Lucas Brothers Butchers, the Snag of the Day, of course, and our major sponsors, the Hamden Football Netball League, McDonald's. We absolutely love everything that they do and the boards and that they've got. SunGold, of course, that FM flavoured milk. Powercore, Timmy Rourke and the crew, and Lindot Living, and they're into the new works out there. It is going to look magnificent. That building and that facility out there is just A1. So Doreen Power and Sue Cassie, they're doing a great job. So good on them.
Yeah, drive past that every day, live out that way, and I'll tell you what, they've been doing a power work, and they've cut out a fair bit of land there, so I reckon big facility going on, and just adds to the great facility that we've already got there at Lindok.
Now listen, the Scotty Stewart rolling team of the year. We can't add to it because we haven't had any football. Poor old Juddle's got the flick there last week. Do you bring him back in or what, mate? Like, what happens?
Well, I've got to give Marriott one more chance in the ruck. Didn't play in that position against North Warrnambool a couple of weeks ago, so I'll keep Big Mark Marriott. He's been super for the Cobden Bombers. Juddles goes to the bench, but we sort of need to add a little bit more to that back line, don't we?
We do, which we'll work on this weekend. So we've got Timmy McPherson, Little Austin Wanastiri, Jennings, of course, from Portland, Matty Field, who's been fantastic, Nick Dobson's just a gun, Timmy McIntyre's in Maskell medal form, Willie Kane, the big forward, Sammy Gordon, big flash, and then we've got Big Mark Marriott, Liam Ewell, Saunders, Dylan. We need to add to the back line this week.
Could I chuck one in now?
Yeah, chuck one in.
Yeah,
mate.
right. I'm going to go Luke Wines, the general down back for the North Warrnambool Eagles. Wears number 35, and what a year he's had
Half
so
back,
far.
mate?
Yeah, half back for Winesy. He's been super. Happy to have him in there.
There could be a couple of Wines boys in the team by the end of the
Yeah, absolutely.
end of the
All
year.
playing good footy.
Anyway, come on, what about other halfback flankers?
Oh,
Who
you
are we
put me on the
thinking?
spot here.
Come on, mate.
Let's go.
What about little Bailey Jenkinson? He's
Bailey
been-
Jenkinson?
What about Jet Birmingham? We haven't got a spot for
Yeah,
him.
we haven't got him. He's probably a winger, isn't he? But it has played a bit more inside forward 50. What are the sides we haven't got represented yet? Because I do like having a player from each side in there, and that can certainly change.
Well, Port Fairy, Savage. What are we going to do with the big Sav?
Well, do you put him on a half-forward flank?
Actually, no, I'll tell you who we put there back. He's Dwyer, mate.
Oh, Joshy Dwyer, half-back flank.
He's a gun.
Yes.
Absolute
Big year too he's had.
jet. He is one of the best halfback flankers, one of the best kids I've seen for entire. I reckon he's a star, that kid. And what about centre half back? Come on, we're gonna be thinking.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, there's a
Jace
fella I've got in
Robinson?
mind. Well, maybe Jack Williams.
Jackie
Lockie
Williams.
Waddell's another one that comes to mind. He's sort of been pretty versatile from the Kangaroos, ruck forward, centre half back.
I'd nearly put Lockie Waddell in that forward line. But the only thing is, it's a pretty big forward line.
Yeah,
when
it
you put
is.
big Lockie. Let's just leave that, right? That's the rolling team of the year. So we've added Joshy Dwyer and Lukey Wines. Okay, that is the Scotty Stewart roving team of the year, all thanks to Mickey D's.
I love
our
it.
Wonderful sponsor. And we do not move that board. Hey, great stuff. We thank you, Hilly, once again for coming in. Looking forward to this weekend's round of matches, of course. Other games, Hamilton taking on the Warrnambool Blues, Taran Mortlake taking on Koroit, Portland taking on Port Fairy, and Cobden taking on Camperdown. And I'm pretty sure, I think Cobden are going to do their own live stream on their own Facebook page this weekend in that contest. So they're going to get their
terrific.
own cameraman and that. So I think that's great for people that can't get to the football this weekend. But if you can't, jump on the 3YBFM Facebook page. We're going to live stream our match of the day. It is always good fun, that is for sure. Hilly, we'll see you at the footy.
See you, mate.